maids, the
Everybody.
janitors, everybody out.
We cleaning the house. Everybody.
Everything.
This is scratch. Right on. I love it. Okay, well, thank you for doing this. It's great to meet you in person, so to speak.
Yeah.
But hear the voice, have a conversation, and just vibe out. We're just gonna try and catch a vibe and just kind of talk about some golf stuff, talk about your journey, where you're going, and what you like to do with the game. I have to be candid, but Sylvia is my mother's name.
Oh, she must be an
Yes,
amazing woman. Hey.
hey, she absolutely is. When I said Sylvia, I'm like, look at her, I'm like, oh no. And so I've never called someone Sylvia unless my mom's acting up, and I'm
Really?
like, Sylvia, yeah, I'll mess.
Yep.
No,
It's not a lot of
so
them out there either. It's not a lot of Sylvias at all.
no, there is not. I think one in high school, my mother and you. That's
That's
it.
it. Yep.
That's a big gap. But so
It
hey, wear Proudy. So you're all good. That's a proud name to wear. It's all yours.
is.
Okay, Sylvia. So I just want to say welcome, Mindful Golf Conversations. I'm glad you decided to do this. I'll have to say I'm excited to sit down with you and finally meet you and have a conversation. And before we get started, I just wanted to say that I believe we connected on maybe it was TikTok for the first time. I'm not quite sure.
I think so. I think
Okay.
so. I think it was TikTok, and then I
Okay.
followed you on Instagram too. Yeah.
Okay. Right on. So, and I'm glad you did. I'm glad we connected because sometimes you miss people with this,
Right.
with social media. It's hard to kind of connect and find your tribe and find people you
Yes.
actually vibe with, and then
Yes.
you like what they do
Yes.
consistently, right? But these Instagram and TikTok, they make it really hard. Once you do connect with someone, it's hard to find them sometimes.
Yeah.
It doesn't come in your feed all the time.
Yeah. Especially like the people you follow. Well, the people that follow you, they don't necessarily get your content. It's served out to new people. So, these algorithms
Yeah,
are all kind of crazy. Like you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
literally, and that's why I try to make sure I engage with the people the content that I like. So that
Sure,
way it
sure.
continues to show up for me. Cause that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
only way. That's the
yeah.
only,
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. So, what I wanted to say is when I noticed what you were doing, what stood out to me was your fearlessness to create and put those videos out and just be yourself. It's truly authentic. And at the end of the day, it's inspiring. And I wanted to
yeah.
share with you that just keep doing those things because I find motivation in that and I find it refreshing. It's not scripted. It's not, at least to me, it's
It's
not
not.
scripted. You show your good shots, you show your bad shots. And I feel that I don't know what your plans are. I don't know what your goals are with golf, but what I wanted to share with you, and one of the reasons I wanted to have you on was I find it inspiring. You're going to find your tribe. You're going to find people that enjoy what you do. They're going to follow you. They're going to rock with you. They're going to grow with you, and they're going to help turn you up. And so I wanted to share with you, just keep doing what you're doing because authenticity comes through the screen
Well,
and
I
people can feel
appreciate
that.
that so much. I mean, because you never know how you come across,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to content and social media. You just never know. So I
Right.
appreciate that because I don't script anything. I know that if I'm gonna make this into a career, I probably should. But I'm like, I got 2 kids and a husband. If I gotta really sit down and get some stuff together, that's just not gonna happen. So y'all just go get whatever I give or whatever day I give.
But you know what? That's why your tribe and the people, myself, other, that's why we are attracted to what you're doing. And it's just you. It's just you coming out there doing your thing. And again, it's not fluff. And
No.
there's a lot of fluff. There's
Yes.
a lot of nonsense. And you probably don't know this about me yet, but I'm a golf snob. And so there's stuff that just rubs me the wrong way.
Mhm.
And I just don't like to see. And I just wanted to say to you that it's refreshing what you're doing. And I want to encourage you to continue doing that.
Well, I appreciate that, and I definitely will. I thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell some of us that don't know, who is Sylvia the Golfer? Who is STGZ from
Um,
Tennessee?
Sylvia the Golfer is originally from Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
I've lived all over the place, lived in New York, lived in Los Angeles. What a lot of people don't know is that I've been a video producer and creating content for over 25 years. So, but I've been
Wow.
doing
Okay.
it for film studios. So
Okay.
that's actually my background. My background is in film. I was in LA for 10 years doing video production and producing. Um, and just being out there, I was ready to settle down and have kids, so I moved back home
Hmm.
and got married and got knocked up a few times. I got knocked up a few times.
Okay. Okay.
Um and I just, I've been working since I was 13, and I've been going and going and going. And I just finally got an opportunity to just be and raise my children. But within
Mm.
that, when you've been grinding for so long, I was always career driven. I never wanted, the wife, and to be a wife and have kids was like the last thing on the list. Career was first.
Mm. Okay.
So now that I have, slowed all the way down, I feel like I don't have anything for me. I didn't have anything, for me. Like the career I put, I've retired that, so to speak.
Hmm.
Um, and I was just like, I've always liked golf. I've gone to Top Golf. I've always been a little competitive.
Okay.
And I just thought, you know what? Why not? Freshly coming out of COVID, kids was driving me crazy, husband driving me crazy. I'm like, I gotta get out of this house. And I used to travel a whole lot, but I'm waiting
Mm.
on my children to get a little bit older so that we can
Hmm.
travel together. Because I'm not going to be the mom in the airport with the little kids. Because people are like, oh, you can travel with your kids, when they're young. That's not me. I don't
Sure.
handle like little kids stress well. So I would rather wait until they're like, 5 or 6.
Okay.
Um, so I'm like, okay, traveling is kind of put on hold. What can I do for me? And
Mm.
so last year, me and a good friend of mine, we took a lesson with this program called For the Ladies. So
Mm.
I live
Okay.
close to like a golf course, and that's where they had it. And I was like, oh, I pass by this golf course every day. Like this is great. So
Mm.
we took that lesson, last year, and I was like, I really like this. Once I hit the ball successfully, because at first I'm just swinging and I don't know what I was hitting, but I wasn't hitting the ball. I was like, this is embarrassing. Because I'm the only person that looks like me, and they're looking at me like, you don't really,
Mm.
really belong here. And now you can't even hit the ball. So I was like, okay, God, I gotta represent for the sisters up in here. I gotta hit this ball. And but once I hit the ball successfully, I was like, oh my God, this is this is cool. Like I really kind of like this. And
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
were starting, we started doing chipping and things like that. And after that, I thought, you know what, this is gonna be for me. This
Mm.
is my thing that mommy's gonna do, that wifey's gonna do, to just be.
I
And
love it.
when I'm out there, man, it's just incredible. Like, I'm not at a point where I'm keeping score. Like physically have not kept score because one, I'm too
Mm.
busy trying to like figure things out.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
and the score to me is just, it's not as important as just being there
Okay.
and
Okay.
connecting with my body and trying to get everything connected to hit this
Yeah.
ball and get it where it needs
Yeah.
to be. But I
Yeah.
am gonna start
Yeah.
keeping score because I know I need to get a handicap. I'm stepping my game up.
Mm. Okay. Let me back you up then. Let me back you up. So STG got into the game as around COVID. A friend. And so it's around COVID time. You said, I need something. I need something to
Mhm.
do. I want to just get my mind going, get physical, and just be out and just kind of do me type of thing. So let me go back a little bit further. So you were in film, you were doing film and production, or you're doing video stuff.
Yep.
And so that creativeness is in you.
Hmm.
So this is why your videos are just, I'm not going to say simple, but they're just appealing, and they are as they are. There's not a lot of fluff.
Nope.
So that's obviously a little bit of just kind of your background and what you've been
Right.
doing. So that's why it's resonating and it just works, and you're starting to grow an audience. So I think that's key, because sometimes you'll look at someone and you're like, man, I think they just started, and next thing you know, their count is grown.
Right.
And some people look at that just with envy, and they want to know what's happening. And it comes, obviously there's someone that knows what they're doing
Yeah.
and comfortable with the camera. And again, fearless. You're showing yourself. So I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. And I'm glad you shared that, because I wouldn't have never known that. And I think that's great. And then you took what you did work wise, and now you're putting it into this new baby, if you will. And it's a little bit of work, and it's a little bit of fun, right?
Yeah,
At the same time.
originally I wasn't, when I started last year, September of last year, I was talking to a friend of mine, and originally I wasn't going to create content around it. It was just me, it was just something that I wanted to do for me. And as I was filming myself just so that I could play it back and get better and critique, and it's like, why am I doing that? Why is my head looking like that? And, doing all
Mm-hmm.
that critiquing, I was like, oh, well, let me just start an Instagram page. Let me start TikTok just so I can kind of, upload things and just so I can see it for myself.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And a friend of mine was like, you might as well just start creating content around it. And I said, well, I don't want it to become a business because it's mine right now. And if I make it
Mm-hmm.
a business, then it becomes everybody's. And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of shot up the fence, and I was like, I'm a creator by heart. I've been doing it since I was 19,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm about to be 44. So, it's in me. So I was like, all right, to hell with it.
Let's
Let's
do it. But you've been a hustler. Obviously, if you've been working since you're 13, you've been a hustler, and you've been at it for a long time.
yeah.
So you just can't sit idle like that.
Mm-mm.
So
Oh,
it just doesn't work. You're basically like a Ferrari sitting in a garage. You're like, no,
yep.
I need to be driven,
It's a
right? So yeah. So let's go back to the content part of it and wanting to create. One of the things I noticed was you were using an iRange, and I
mm-hmm.
believe we connected on iRange. How did
Yep.
you come across iRange Sports? And
I
maybe I'll share you my history,
I
but that
actually
is,
actually think it was through your video.
stop it.
Yeah.
One of my
Yeah.
videos. Okay.
Yeah, it was it was your video, and you know how marketing is. Once you click on one thing, then it
Hmm.
serves you
Yeah.
these ads constantly.
Yeah.
So I want to
Yeah.
say you were actually the first person that I saw using it, and I was like, what the hell is that? I've been around camera equipment and tripods and all that for a long time, and I was like, what the hell is that? And so I
Mm.
saw it, and I was like, okay. And then at that point, like, it's everywhere. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I went on the website. Well, no, I went on his Instagram, and
Hmm.
I'm seeing all of like the people using it and everything. And then I went on the website, and I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna do this, if I'm really gonna do this, if I'm gonna step up and be a content creator, because this little tripod that I got keeps blowing over in the wind, like my phone falling down, shit's just popping. I was like, this is not the
It's
business.
a hot mess with a tripod. It's a
You
hot
know,
mess. It's a
I'm
hot
looking at
mess.
on the driving range. They're already looking at me funny anyway. And now I got this tripod. And I was just like, okay, if I'm going to do this, let me like invest. Let me
Absolutely.
start up
Absolutely.
small and invest. And I got it. And I own 3 of them.
Okay, so
So,
which ones do you have? Which
well,
ones
I
do you
have,
have?
well, so I stalked him for a while. Well, so I wanted the pink one. So I saw a girl who had she was like, she had like an Instagram thing, and she had a pink one. And so I was like, okay, well, I want a pink one. And he's like, well, I only have do that in October for breast cancer awareness. So I waited for like a while to like,
Okay.
step up to like October so that I could
Okay.
buy a pink one. And
Got,
so,
that must have been painful. You're like, I want this thing, but I
yeah,
want what I want.
I bought the pink one, and then so I used the pink one for a while, and then once I started getting out on the course, I was like, oh, that's why people have the black one that extends so that you can adjust the height and all that. I was like, oh, okay. Well, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get that one. And then I started seeing people post with the camera mount.
Okay. The
So
mini. You
yeah,
talking about the
well, no,
mini?
it's the video camera. So it's like the
Oh,
mount
okay,
for your
okay.
camera.
Mm-hmm.
So I started seeing a few people post that, like, wait, because I bought a camera. I'm like, I'm trying to step up my video, my quality of the videos. So I
Right,
was like,
right.
oh, there's one for the camera. So I went on the website and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I hit him up and I was like, hey, where's this camera mount? He was like, oh, it's not available yet. It's gonna be available in like April. I was like, oh, okay. So now I gotta wait like three
So you
months.
gotta wait. Well, so you did say you got the pink one.
I got the pink one, I got a black one, the one that extends, and then I got
Okay,
the one for the video camera.
got it. Okay, so um, do you have your name on it?
No, I
Okay,
don't.
so once he sees this video, Gene, we got to get Sylvia an eye range that says STGZ on it.
All I
Okay,
need
make
now is the little bitty
the
one, and
mini.
I have a
Okay,
full set. I have a full
okay, all right. Well, I guarantee you that Gene will see this, and you know,
yeah.
I mean, look behind me right here. Ask me about my video stick.
See?
Can you
Well,
see
and
that?
I hit him up because I was at the driving range. This was like a few weeks ago. I was at the driving range and these two guys, it was really nobody there. It was like me and like three people. So it's two
Mm-hmm.
guys in front of me that just kept looking at me and it was starting to make me a little uncomfortable because I'm like, what are they looking at? Then one of the guys walks over and he was like, what is that? What are you like you and I was like, oh, it's the Iron Range Sports Stick. I got three of them and I'm pulling them out and showing them what they
Yeah,
do. Like I'm a
yeah,
salesman. And
yeah.
the guy was like, oh, well, if you have three of them, let me buy one from you. I give you $100 for this one right here, right now. And I said, no, you can go online and you can buy your own. I'm not coming up out of mine because he be selling out. I don't know when they're gonna be back in stock. I ain't playing them games. Go on the website and buy it yourself.
You are a true consumer and connoisseur. And look, obviously, I love that story, by the way, and he'll love this. He'll love this when he hears it. But that it once you have that stick, it's such a game changer
It is.
that you don't know you don't remember life before it, and
Yep.
you definitely don't want to go back.
Mm-mm.
So kudos to you for just hanging on. It's like nah,
Mm-mm.
partner, you got to go get
Nah.
your own. You got to get your
He
own.
was like, you gonna turn down $100? I said, yeah. Now leave me alone because I'm trying to practice.
You're too much. You're too much.
Bothering me.
Okay, tell me how you're too much. So tell me now. You're in this content game a little bit. You're starting to. You're starting to. Your competitive juices are flowing here. What accounts out there kind of give you inspiration to create content? Are there any out there that are big time, small? It doesn't matter, male, female. What content creators
Well,
out there kind of interest you and you like what they do?
so definitely yours. I have to give you props.
Oh,
I love your
thank you.
videos and just I love how warm your videos are. That was the first thing that that attracted me to your page. It was like your videos are very warm. It's a whole vibe. Your videos
Mm,
are a whole
okay.
vibe. And I was like, huh, that's very different. You don't see that, really anywhere. So I was like,
Okay.
oh, okay. Like, so I make sure that I engage with your page because I want the
Hmm.
algorithm to keep, showing me your
Sure, sure.
content. Roger Steele,
Okay.
definitely like he's a hot mess at times. He could be a little all
Hmm.
over the place, but I like I like how he's grown and just what he's been able to do from just from like a golf content like standpoint, like how he's taken it off of social media and he's out there in the world with it. I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love that. And there is
Sure.
there's two ladies that I follow. One is New Lady Golfer. I don't know what her name is, but her name she
Okay.
is handle is New Lady Golfer,
Okay.
and then Carol. I think it's Carol Priscilla, but she goes by like Tequila Carol or something like that. Tequila Carol, I
Now
think
that's
that's
catchy.
yeah. So
Okay.
she drinks a lot of tequila. She's a little Latina. She's real saucy.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but both of like the women, like I like them because they're very different, and
Mm.
they give
Mm.
me different inspiration. Like New Lady, I think that is her handles, New Lady Golfer. She's definitely, you can tell she's been doing it for a very long time, but I love
Okay.
how she's another one of those who have she's taken it off of the platform, and she's out there,
Mm-hmm.
she's hosting tournaments. She hosts a
Mm.
lot of tournaments for I think she's done a few like with Cedric the Entertainer, I think was one of
Okay.
the last ones.
Okay.
I think she's based in California too. So
Okay.
she's
Okay.
based on the West Coast. So
Okay.
I love her whole vibe, and she does a lot of lifestyle as well. Like everything is golf, centered, but it's very
Mm.
lifestyle in golf, and it's very
Okay.
polished.
Love
So
it.
I
Love it.
love that. And
Okay.
but like Tequila Carol, she's just fun.
Just fun. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
she's just fun. So I like the two of them because I as far as like motivation women wise, I would like to marry the both of those. Like
Yeah.
the business, like New Lady Golfer is very business. She's very corporate. She's very just like she's very clean, and I
Sure.
think that's why a
Okay.
lot of brands tend to gravitate towards her. But Tequila Carol's like, look, I'm out here, I'm a single mom, I just shot like a triple bogey, I'm turning it up, like she is having fun. But she
She's having a
also
good
gets
time.
her, yeah, she creates her content and she has her brand deals, but she's not scared of scaring any brands away. It's like, this is just me. You come, if you come, if you don't, you don't.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
out.
Accept me as I am. Take me
Right.
as I am. Yeah.
Right.
There is so I love that. So you're basically, in my eyes, you're a connoisseur of the content. And once you find something that you like and then it just fits your energy, you just dive into it. You kind of dissect it, just kind of break it down,
Yep.
and oh, I like this. How can I incorporate this? A little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's like a chef in the kitchen.
Yep.
You're just mixing and matching and just creating your own kind of five-star meal. So I love that. I love that. I love that. So,
Finding my voice, that's the
yeah.
biggest thing. It's finding, because I've been producing content for other people in studios for so long. This is the first time that I'm really doing it for myself, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out who I am and what I want to show. Because when I first started in September, I'm scouring like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, like where are the people that like look like me, or where are the people who are just, that's not an instructor, that's not a coach, that's people that are obtainable, people that are just like, look, this is a bad shot, this is a good shot, this is the reality of it with a little humor mixed into it, like
Yeah.
this, like
Yeah.
where are those people? So
Sure.
it was
Sure.
really hard for me to sift through, you know
Mm-hmm.
to sift through
Mm-hmm.
a lot of accounts, and kind of now I have like a little bubble of people that I follow. So
Sure. Sure. No, and I feel that that's tough. And I'm sure as you were looking, you found more
yes.
men's accounts
Yes.
versus ladies' account, and then you definitely didn't find any black accounts that fit that narrative for you. Something that, because you have to see it to be it, and there are
Right.
things that just don't resonate as you look
Right.
on these apps and different things. And sometimes we get force fed the same stuff, the
Mhm.
same people. And I like what you said with, that are obtainable, someone you can touch, someone you feel is real. Because some of some of these numbers that some people have, follower wise, what have you, they'll never reach out. You can
Right.
comment, they won't comment back. There's some real, uh, for lack of a better word, there's a big ego with a
Oh yeah.
lot of creators and things like that. And I get it. Once you've worked hard and you've grown your page, to a certain level, you have to protect yourself, because
Right.
there's a lot of people that just want a piece of you, and
Right.
they want something, and they want to know, hey, how'd you do that, or how'd you get that brand deal, what have you. So
Right.
I get a little bit of it, but sometimes, I mean, just flat out no response or a thank you for a share, something like
Right.
that. That's the stuff that just kind of like, oh, okay, man, not good, not good. So anyway, I got off. I got I got off track. I'm getting ready to vent. I'm like, am I talking about my problem or your problem?
Listen, we are in
So,
here. Okay, we in this thing.
okay. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So tell me, with you getting into the game now, knowing what you know today, if you were going to give a new lady golfer, there's a plug for new lady golfer. If a new golfer was coming in the game, what advice would you give them?
If are they coming in the game just to play, or are they coming in the game to create content?
Just to play, just
Just to play.
start play. Yeah, just to play. What advice could you give them to get started? Like, what were your hurdles that you had to overcome that you can give them kind of a cheat code to kind of get going and get clubs or know where to play or know what to do and just to have that confidence to come in the game? Because I think there's a barrier. Personally, I think there's a huge barrier for people to get into golf, and especially ladies getting into golf.
Yeah,
So
for
I'm just curious if you had a thought about that.
the first thing that I would say is you got to get out of your own way,
Mm,
because the one experience that I'll say this: I've had nothing but good experiences,
okay.
and I've had good experiences because one thing I realize is that, especially with the men, they're just excited that you're there. Like, at first they
Hmm.
see you and it's just like, what the hell is she doing here? Like, and then
Right.
it gets a little annoying because they're like, where's your husband? And I'm like, he's at home with the kids. Like, you know,
Right. Right.
I'm here. Like, I don't
Yeah.
have to have my husband here. Um,
Yeah.
but for the most part, it's just everybody has been so helpful. I think I was just standing in my own way because golf has never really been something for women, so to speak. And it
Hmm.
definitely wasn't something for black people either. So you sit
Hmm.
back and you look at that and you create all of these scenarios in your head when it's really not like that.
Sure.
And the biggest thing that I've told people is all you have to do is go to the driving range. When you go to the
Hmm.
driving range, you will see that nobody knows what the fuck they're doing.
Not at all. Not at all.
Nobody knows what the
Yeah.
fuck they're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first few times, I'll probably say the second time I went to the driving range and I'm looking at the people in front, the people in front of me and the people behind me, they're hitting balls all over the place. They're literally hitting balls all over the place. Nobody knows what they're doing. And
Hmm.
you sit back and you sit at home and you're like, oh, well, I can't play golf because I can't afford it, which is a lie. Not golf is as expensive as you allow it to be. And then you think,
100%.
oh, I have to already know what I'm doing. No, you don't. Because some of these guys that I meet on the driving range or I get paired up with, they've been playing golf for 20 years and they still don't know what they're doing. They literally do not know what they're doing.
Facts.
So,
Facts. 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 So let's get out of your own way. Get out of
yep,
your own way. Don't be fearful and you know, don't listen to what you've heard on the negative side.
yep.
Just have the courage just to go and
Yep.
get out there.
And just
Yeah.
go, just all you have to do is spend one day at the driving range, and that will put all your fear aside. Because once you start seeing these guys, because you see a guy and you're like, oh well, he's a guy, he has to know what he's doing. Bullshit. He
Mm-hmm.
looking at me like, how'd you get your backswing to look like that? I'm like, well shit, I don't know. I literally don't know what I'm doing. I'm just here.
I'm here. I'm practicing. I'm doing exactly what you're doing. I've been practicing. You know what I mean? You just got to work through it, my man. You got to work through
Yep.
it. So
And
yeah.
once I started looking at that and realizing
Hmm.
that these guys are, and then I'm solo, so when I'm so when you go to the range, well, you go to the course, oftentimes they pair you with other people.
Sure.
So when I'm paired especially like with older men, half of them literally been playing their whole lives and are horrible, so horrible, and it makes me feel good because I'm like, well, shit, we gonna be bad together, so that means we just
We're
gonna
going to be
have some
bad
fun.
together. We're going to have a good time. Yeah. And
Yep.
that's when you just, that's golf is already intimidating. And that's the problem. And that's why I try to encourage people just get there.
Mm-hmm.
Just get to the golf course and the world will open up to you. And someday I have to tell you about the story about a guy that what he thought golf was. It, it it'll blow your mind what he thought golf was versus the reality. It's crazy. It's the craziest thing. I'll try and drop it in here. This is what's crazy. I can. He told me
I
this.
gotta hear this.
I don't want to betray his trust, but so he goes to the Masters. He goes to the Masters every year. This guy, okay, and then when he was going to the Masters, he saw all the professionals playing. Right, so that's the only golf course and only golf event he would go to. That's what he knew about golf,
What's the
was
math?
what was going on at the
Okay.
Masters. So his buddies would say, "Hey man, let's go play golf." And he's like, "No, no, 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 I'm not playing. I'm not playing. No, 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 no." They kept asking, kept asking. He said no. Finally, one day he goes out with them. They're hitting the ball all over the fucking place,
As they do.
and they're drinking. And he goes, "Is this what the fuck you guys have been doing the whole time?" And so in his mind, he thought all golfers were like pro golfers.
No.
That's what he thought.
And
They
he's been
dressed a
missing
certain
out.
way. He'd been missing out, but he wasn't missing out with access to Augusta National and the Masters. He was very privileged there, but he thought all golfers were playing at the pro level.
No.
And so for years, he wouldn't go to play. And when he was shocked that his friends were horrible. But I love the fact that he gave his friends credit that they were pretty good. I love that part of it. But that I laughed so hard when he told me he thought they were all like professionals.
Yeah.
That's what that's his perception of golf.
But that's the thing, and I see it, when I'm out there playing, they're just having fun. And that's what I
Yeah.
try to explain to my friends. I'm like, I'm trying to wrangle my friends up to come and learn to play. And they're like, what they see on TV, like, no, no, like that's not for me. And I'm like, you don't understand. It's literally just fun. You
Yeah.
know, go
Yeah.
out there and
Absolutely.
have fun. I go
Hmm.
through leaves of balls. I don't even know where they at half of it, like
Yeah, yeah, but that's a part of it. That's the journey. So that leads me to my next question. If you're you're trying to get some friends to come and play. So typically you're going as a single. So
Mhm.
if you're like, oh, I got a free day, I'm going to play. You don't necessarily call a friend. You just show up and just play as a single and get out there.
Yep.
I love that. So do you have any plans of maybe putting together a small ladies group to play? If
I would
your friends want to do that, or they, to encourage them. I'm curious if
I
that's
would
one of
love
your goals.
I would love to, but my friends, one, they don't like the outside. So it's just like, okay, what are we doing? Uh I'm not gonna be inside my whole life, but they're not very
Right, right.
physically active.
Oh
But
my
they
goodness.
they can't get past the image of golf. They just really they can't get past just what they interpret golf to be. So that is
Mm,
a huge barrier for them. And when that's so deeply embedded into people who really don't even like change anyway, it's hard to get
mm,
out of that. So
mm-hmm,
it's
mm-hmm.
funny you asked that because I've been thinking, about this, the past few weeks. Like, man, I gotta get some ladies because it
Right.
makes me sad when I go out there and I'm by myself sometimes and I see like the groups of guys and they're all, just having fun.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm just like, man, I wish I had that. Now, I mean, there are women that I can play with, but they're older. Like I want to be able
Sure.
to play
Okay.
with, somebody, well, women my age. So like
Yeah, yeah.
that's the biggest thing. You don't see, especially in Nashville, you don't see a lot of, well, really any like 40-year-olds who are wanting to go play golf. You see a lot of 60-year-olds and it's like, me and Miss Emma, there's only so much conversation we gonna have, Miss
Yeah.
Emma. Like,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean in this day and age that's surprising to me. And there definitely it's people come together and they play, but that's a lonely feeling if you can't play with someone and you can relate to and vibe with, and that's an important part of the game.
yep,
So that makes me sad that they're not open to it yet. But
mm,
what's going to end up happening is you're going to make some new friends, but you hate to leave the ones you're closest to that you know. But
yeah,
but you're also trying to, I want to share this joy with you, and
right.
they're just not open to it, and that's a hard one. And I can relate. I had two best friends, never wanted to play golf ever.
Dang,
I mean, didn't come watch, didn't come hang out, nothing. And so our friendship changed.
yeah,
because, I didn't want to go out and hang out and drink. I wanted to be up early, go play golf.
Right. Right.
Right. So I was seeing, when I saw the sun going up, it was because I was coming home from the club. But now I'm taking my clubs, driving to the golf course, watching the sun come up. It's a
Yeah.
whole different transition. And I'm like, I'm so I'm happier for it.
Yeah.
Right. And so what you're trying to do is you want to share that joy and be out there with one of your friends. I hate that
Well,
they
I,
don't see it.
I I told myself that I'm gonna start, I really want to start like traveling more because I mean I have all of these social media friends. I
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
lot of like social media golf friends, and
Yeah.
there's a lot in Atlanta that I follow. So I'm like, okay, Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
is not that far from Nashville, so that's a pretty short drive. So I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
might just have to start just traveling
There
and
you go.
really getting out and playing with making new friends in different
Yeah.
places in different cities.
100%.
So
Yeah, you definitely got to do that. And that's what I was going to ask. What is your, just kind of, what do you want to do with the STG, with Sylvia the Golfer? Do you want to grow it? Do you want to be, a person that has brands coming in? Because I think I saw I think you did a ghost golf, I think it was.
yeah,
And I'm like, okay, look at her. I said, go ahead, girl. Go ahead, Sylvia. I see you. I see you with your golf club.
I
I
was
see you.
oh, they slid into my DMs. I said, oh, okay. So I guess I'm officially a content creator now. I got a brand, reaching out to me, sending me stuff. So that was really exciting. But that is where I hope to take this. I really
Okay.
want to because I'm in a completely different space. When you're talking about, you used to, be at the club and just do different things, and now you've elevated to someplace different.
Mm-hmm.
I really have elevated to a different space. I worked really hard to set myself up to where I'm at now, to be
Mm-hmm.
able to stay at home and to take care of my children. Like, you don't really see that a lot these days anymore. So to be a
Yeah.
stay-at-home mom, like, my husband really, he's allowing me, financially to be at home. And
Yeah.
so during
Yeah.
the day, like I'm out here with the other stay-at-home moms, and
Sure.
with the
Yeah.
kids. And it's just I'm in a different space. I've laid the corporate America down, I've laid that down, and it's just like, wow, this is what it's like on the other side.
Yeah. This is what it's
This
like on
is
the other side.
yeah,
This is what kind of, this is the pre kind of retirement look. This is what this looks like.
yep,
This is, yeah, that freedom and that kind of mental
yep,
rest and able to create and just find yourself and just kind of find your lane, or just kind of have that second career,
yep,
or that second phase of your life, or even third phase, being a mom, being a wife, being an entrepreneur,
yep,
being a ultimate, creator. Yeah,
yeah.
that's some
And
good stuff.
the thing is, and one thing I realized is, I mean, because this was 5 years in the making. This is me
Mm,
really hustling, saving up money, paying off debt, like really gearing towards. Because I'm like, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait this long to have children and then go back to work with a lot of people that I don't like. It's like I'm gonna leave my kids at the daycare to go work with people that I can't stand. I was like, no. Like, I'd rather be at home raising these badass kids and just being,
100%.
being here. So, but
I love that. I
what
love that. I
yeah,
love to hear that. I
but
love
one
to
thing
hear
I
that.
realized is that, when they say it's lonely at the top, so to speak, it really is, because a lot of my friends, well, majority of my friends, if not all of them, they're still working. And
Hmm.
I'm like, on a random Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm at the park, or I'm out doing stuff. Like when they're in school, like I have
Yeah.
this freedom, and it's just like,
Yeah.
wow, I don't have anybody to share this with.
Right, right. Well, thank goodness you have the golf now. You have that part
Exactly.
of it, and you're able to kind of create and now just kind of grow it. Just grow your own personal brand,
Yep.
and still allow you to be at home, and then obviously scratch that competitive itch
Yep.
and touch that creativity. So I think that's great for you to travel, hit the road, drive, do some content, do some collabing, and that's what I was going to ask if that was something you were looking to do. I think it'd be great for you. And just kind of going back to Ghost Golf, you're going to get more opportunities because, as I said earlier when we first jumped on the call, is you're very you're just unafraid to put it out there, and people and brands are going to gravitate to that. And I'm going to say, just keep doing that. And before you get a big ass head, make sure you come back, you touch in with me, you check in, we stay connected. And when you get all the way to the top, and I say, hey Sylvia, I hit your STG, you remember me, and you're doing block delete. My feelings might be hurt, but that's
Well, but
another thing. So,
I'll say, like, you were one of the main reasons why, and I'm not just saying it's because I'm on this. You were one of the main reasons why I started thinking, okay, I need to get back into video production, because I had laid it down for, like, my daughter's 5 now. I haven't picked up a camera. I haven't done anything producing wise in 5 years.
wow,
And,
wow.
I'm just living the mom life, and watching your videos, I'm like, wow, this guy is like, he ain't messing around. Like, he got the graphics. Cause I was like, oh, are those graphics that come onto the screen? I said, excuse me. I was like, oh, okay, this is what we doing. And so
Mm,
it's so polished. And I look at what you were doing, and I'm looking at my little timeline. I'm like, oof, this ain't business.
mm,
I gotta step it up. And that's when I was talking to a friend, like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I need to go buy a camera. I really need to dive back into the video production of it all, which is hard when it's just me, because I'm the crew. I'm the talent, I'm the crew, I'm the everything. And
uh,
I'm trying to play. So,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's a whole lot. I'm still trying to figure that out. But you
yeah.
are you are a big motivation for me in the beginning, because your videos are just amazing.
Wow, I appreciate that, and I mean, and I don't take that lightly. I don't do well with compliments. I'll say that right now, but I appreciate you sharing that, because, like you said, you never know one who's watching, or
Right.
if people truly do appreciate it, and then you're like, if it's appreciated, you know, why aren't the likes there, or why aren't there
Right.
more shares? Why aren't there more views? Why aren't there more followers? All that other stuff. But at the end of the day, you just need a core group of people like yourself, and some of the others that have reached out to me and just said nice things. And that's all that's needed at the end of the day. If I'm happy with what I'm putting out, and that core group enjoys it, and I've inspired someone to do something, that's all I ask to do. That's all I want to do, is just kind of inspire. So it's nice to hear that that's appreciated, and I pushed you into going back to work.
You did. I mean, you really, I was just like, dang, if he put out one more video with this fade in and fade out and all of it, I was just like, oh God, okay. I get it. I need to step my game up if I'm gonna do this for real.
Okay. Well, look, let me go. I want to ask another question. When you got out of, so you were creating content, you were doing things, you just got rid of all your equipment. You said, I'm not touching this stuff anymore. I don't want to take pictures. I don't want to shoot video. You just stepped away from it 5 years
Well,
ago, 6 years
So
ago.
so video production, well, so as a video producer, I'm the person who's hiring everybody. So
Okay.
I started off as a videographer. So at like
Okay.
19, 20, I was handling the camera, doing all the videography and all that. So I've done videography in and out. I've done
Okay.
lighting and mics and all of that, all of the crew stuff.
Okay.
But when I stepped into producing, like, I'm the person who, writes all the scripts for the videos,
Sure.
finds the editors. I hire everybody. I stay on top of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Story editing, content creation, putting all of the pieces together. So, like,
Got it. Yeah.
I didn't have to physically touch anything anymore. I hired
Okay.
and
You
told
hire
them what
people
to
to do
do.
that. I love
Told
that.
them
I
what to
love
do.
that. Okay.
So yeah, so
But that's
that,
still creativeness. That's
yeah,
still creative and putting it together. So I was just curious about the creative part, like kind of putting that piece down. That's what I was just curious about. That you're like, oh, I'm
yeah.
just gonna be a mom. I'm just gonna kind of do my thing, and
Yeah, and it
now
didn't
here.
last long. It didn't last long, because it's just every time I watch a movie, because that's pretty much what I did. I did the company that I worked for. Well, this was back in the DVD era, so we used to do
Mm-hmm.
all of the behind the scenes and the special features. So all the
Okay.
special feature stuff, like being on set, interviewing the cast and the crew, taking those
Mm-hmm.
and making featurettes behind them. I did that for a really long time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I got to work with some really amazing people. But so every time I see a movie, every time I see a behind the scenes something, it's just like triggers me like, oh my God, because
Yeah.
living in LA for 10 years, you're going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like, now I'm like back home in Nashville, like it's slow. And then, it's
A
not,
little different.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not really popping. Everybody just kind of
Sure.
goes to work and goes home. Like there's
Right.
nothing really here. And it's just, I was like, oh, I gotta do something because this is just it's not me. I'm dying on the
I'm
inside.
dying. I'm dying. Yeah. So now here comes along golf
Yep.
to resurrect that creativeness and just kind of that competitiveness and get you going. I love it. Golf. See, that's why I love the game. That's why I love the game. So
Yeah.
I got one last question for you. If you were going to get invited to Augusta National, you can only invite two people. Who do you invite to go and play Augusta National with you?
I'm
Because you can
playing.
only have to. You're playing.
So it's like a
You,
threesome.
so when you play at Augusta, you have to play with a member, and then it'll be three other people. So it's you. You get to invite two people, and then you're playing with a member.
Okay. So
So who are the two people that you would invite to play?
obviously Tiger Woods. I'm not passing up that. Like
Okay. Okay.
I'm playing with Tiger Woods hands down. And
Okay. Okay.
I'm probably gonna mispronounce her name, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It's it's Anika. She was the she's a female. She's a former professional golfer. She
Mm-hmm.
was like the second woman to play in the PGA. Might be she might be German or something. But anyway, so she was the second female golfer to play on the PGA tour, and it was
Okay.
like it was a big thing. Annika, I'm sorry, not Anika.
You're talking about
Annika.
Annika Sorenstam?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sounds like Anika. I'm like,
I
I
was
don't
like,
know that shit. I'm
I
like,
knew I
you're
was
talking about
gonna.
Annika Sorenstam. You would play with
Yeah,
Annika.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was
All
like, I
right.
know I'm
I like.
going to. I was
Yeah.
like, I know I'm gonna like
Oh,
butcher this name,
yeah.
Annika.
No,
Annika.
Annika. Yeah, Annika was. Yeah. So that's a great.
Yeah,
That would be a great. Her and Tiger used to be really tight.
yeah. She.
So.
I watched a documentary with about her and how like when she played on the PGA Tour and she played in that tournament, and
Mm,
it was so good. And I watch it from time to time, and anytime I'm like out there on the course and I'm like paired with like random guys, and I just
yeah.
think to myself like, okay, channel your Annika, channel your Annika. And I literally do that because I'm like, if she can get out there and do that in front of all of those people with
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
odds against her, I can play
Yeah.
against, I can play with these three guys and not
I
care
can handle it.
if
Yeah.
I like hit the ball straight into the
Yeah.
woods. Like,
100%. 100%. No, I love that. Channel your inner Annika. Yeah,
yes,
I remember that tournament she played in. I think they made Fred Funk wear a skirt or something when she outdrove him in the tournament.
yeah,
So yeah, it was a big deal at the time. She was one
yeah,
hell of a player. I love that. I love that for her. That'd be great.
yep.
That'd be great. So my last question is, how can people get in contact with you? How can they follow your journey? What's your social medias? How can folks
So
follow you and support you?
So Instagram is my is pretty much my favorite. Like that's my go-to. So Sylvia
Okay.
underscore the golfer. TikTok, it's the same Sylvia underscore. I think it's either Sylvia underscore the golfer or just Sylvia the golfer on TikTok. I
Okay.
am starting my YouTube. So it's all
Okay.
gonna be the same
Okay.
Sylvia the golfer. So I'm trying to,
Okay.
get on YouTube and create some longer content because that's what I'm used to doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a challenge to do the shorter content. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, if I can get on YouTube and start creating the longer form content that I'm used to, it might be a little bit better over there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty much those three. But
Okay.
Instagram is my heart. Like that's where I'm at every day, all day.
No, I understand that. I'm there too, and it's one of those things. It's like caffeine. You got to have it. You
Yep.
know, well, that's why they call it Instagram. It's a hitagram, whatever that is. But because it's addictive. It's
It
addictive.
is.
So, I appreciate you doing this, and this was a lot of fun. Got to learn a lot more about you and just kind of what makes you tick and that creativeness and just what you what you want to do with the game, and just that you want to get into that production part of it. That's what I can see, and I can tell there's going to be some great things coming from you, I feel.
Yeah.
So I like long form content myself, so I'm partial to that too. It's tough for me to do the short stuff as well. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm
It's
losing,
hard.
leaving clips. I'm leaving clips. So I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for coming on. I want to do this again down the
Yeah.
road when you've blown up and you like, I got 100,000 followers, nigga. No,
Okay, listen. From your lips to God's ears, I'm gonna act a fool. Listen, to 100,000 followers, I'm gonna act a